He's gone. The whisper slithered through the marble hallway like a sin no one wanted to confess. Gasps spread among guests, dresses rustled, phones slipped from hands, the wedding hall erupted into nervous murmurs, but the groom remained still, hands glass behind him, eyes fixed on the shattered glass door Wendy had fled through. The terrified maid who delivered the news followed her. She left this, sir, a note. Jungkook took it from her trembling fingers. The paper was crumpled, damp with Vandy's fingerprints, and written in worst handwriting. I can't marry a monster. I'm sorry. A slow, sharp smile curved across Jungkook's lips. Not disappointment, not confusion, amusement. He folded the note with surgical precision and slid it inside his suit pocket. Of course she ran, he murmured, voice calm, cold, almost pleased. I would have been disappointed if she didn't. Everyone stared at him, waiting for the explosion, the fury, but the demand for blood, but Chun Chungkook didn't rake. He calculated. His eyes lifted and dragged across the trembling room until they landed on you. Wine. Wendy's younger sister, dressed in a soft lilac dress, cheeks pale, fingers anxiously twisting the edge of your scarf. And that's when he moved slow, deliberate steps, echoing like the ticking of a bomb. You felt his gaze before he reached you. A heavy, suffocating presence. People parted as he walked, terrified to stand in his way. When he stopped in front of you, you froze. His voice slid down your spine like ice. Your sister made a wise choice. You managed to whisper, Sir, she must be scared. Please give her time. Time? His dark eyes flickered with mockery. I have already wasted enough of it pretending she was the bride I wanted. Your breath caught. Jungkook leaned closer, lips brushing your ear, not gently, but with a cold claim. Good, he whispered. Bring me the right sister. Your heart lurched. What? He straightened, announcing to both families with a chilling finality. Prepare my bride, one will take Wendy's place. The hall erupted into panic. Your mother cried out. Your father stepped back in shock. Your relatives played it back, argued, but Cook's cars were already locking the exits. He didn't look at anyone else. He looked only at you, unblinking, expression unreadable. He had studied you for months. Your morning walks, your fear of thunderstorms. Your habit of giving food to stray cats, your way of saying sorry even when something wasn't your fault. Your tendency to love too gently in a word too cruel. He knew your weaknesses and he adored them. Wine, he said softly, though his tone carried still. Don't make this difficult. I have no patience for theatrics. Tears welled in your eyes, but you shook your head bravely. I never agreed to this. You can't force. He chuckled, a low, dangerous sound. I can do much more than that. He motioned to his men. They stepped forward instantly, surrounding your panicked family. Your mother's voice trembled. Please, Mr. Jones, she's too young. Young, he mused, but far more useful than Wendy. Your father flared with anger. Useful, my daughter is not some. Jungkook slides through him. Careful, I don't tolerate disrespect, even from future in laws. You stepped in front of your father instinctively. Stop threatening my family. For the first time, a spark of surprise flickered in Jungkook's eyes. You, the soft, scared, trembling girl, stepped between him and danger. Interesting. Dangerous, addicting. He tilted his head slightly. You are brave and stupid. Your breath hissed when he reached out gently, but firmly lifting your chin with two fingers. Wendy ran. He murmured, she chose fear over power, but you are still standing. You tried to pull back, but he tightened his hold. Look at me, Vine. Your lashes fluttered as you obeyed. His gaze settled on your trembling lips. Your tearful eyes, the quiver in your voice. He was memorizing every emotion. Good girl. His praise felt like a threat. I won't marry you, he whispered. Jungkook's lips curved. You will. The door shut behind him with a clang. It's already decided. The moon hung low, silver and silent, spilling a cold light across the opulent bedroom. Velvet curtains swayed slightly with the faint breeze from the cracked window, brushing the edges of the bed where wine sat cold beneath the covers. Her heart refused to slow, thumping in her chest like a warning drum. A shadow moved along the floor before her. She froze. Jungkook, of course. He didn't knock. He didn't speak at first. He simply walked to the edge of her bed and sat down, back straight, eyes unreadable, hands resting lightly on his knees. Not a word, not a touch. What are you doing here? One's voice was trembling, barely louder than a whisper. He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he tilted his head, studying her like one studies a fragile piece of glass. Finally, a faint smile curved his lips, dangerous and amused all at once. I'm memorizing my bride's breathing patterns. It helps me know when you're laying. One's eyes widen, laying. I'm not laying. Are you sure? His voice was velvet wrapped around steel, because everyone lies, even little brides. She shivered, pulling the covers tighter around her, trying to put some space between them, though he had already claimed that space without moving an inch. The air around him felt like a weight, suffocating yet addictive. Drawing her attention unwillingly, her gaze drifted around the room. The locks on the doors gleamed faintly in the moonlight. She had noticed them earlier, sleek black biometric locks. Her fingerprint was registered, yes, but only as guest access. She could open her bedroom, nothing else. You locked everything else. Her voice broke slightly, even the library. Of course, he leaned back slightly, one arm resting casually on the bed frame, his dark eyes glinting. Don't pout, little bride. Guests should be grateful they even get a room. Her cheeks flamed, a mix of anger and fear. I'm not a guest, I am. He cut her off with a soft laugh, the sound low and dangerous. No, you're mine, and guests, well, they'll be. Once just tightened, she wanted to protest, to scream, but the words struck in her throat. Every movement felt observed, catalogued. She realized with a cold chill that he wasn't just present, he was feeling, studying, memorizing. The clock ticked slowly, the sound loud in the oppressive silence. Jungkook didn't sleep. His eyes followed her every motion when she adjusted her pillows, when she hesitated to sip water, when her lashes fluttered in exhaustion. Finally, she gathered enough courage to ask again. Why are you just sitting there? His gaze softened just enough to make her heart skip, though she knew better than to trust it. Because his sad voice low, deliberate, I like to see my bride alive, breathing, counting each heartbeat, every flinch, every sigh. It tells me more than words ever could. One swallowed hard, fighting the lump forming in her throat. That's her fine. Good. He leaned forward slightly, his dark eyes locking with hers. Weird is the truth. Wine monsters can smell it. Remember. Her body tensed involuntarily, a shiver running down her spine. I'm not afraid of you, he smirked, the faintest curve of amusement tugging at the corner of his lips. You will be, he said softly, almost like a promise. But that's not what I want. I want honesty, and right now you're trembling. She shook her head, pulling the covers closer. I am just tired. Tired, yes, but not brave enough to stop flinching when I entered the room. That's mine, Joe. Wine, even your courage belongs to me. The night stretched endlessly. He didn't move, he didn't sleep. He simply watched, memorized, catalogued, his presence pressing down on her like a storm ready to break. She wanted to look away, to close her eyes, but some part of her terrifyingly, maddeningly couldn't. Because as cruel, ruthless, and controlling as he was, there was something addictive in the way he watched her, something terrifyingly intimate. Jungkook stood up suddenly. She flinched. He smirked, walking toward the door. He pressed his palm to a sleek, black bed beside it. There was a soft peep and a mechanical click. He spoke without turning around. In case you are wondering, all locks in this mansion have been replaced. Wine blinked, confused. Replaced? What do you mean? He turned, hands in his pockets, jaw sharp under the silver moonlight. Your fingerprint is registered as guest access only. Guest, she whispered, in my own house. He lifted a brow. This is my house. You only get what I allow you to have. Her heart sank painfully. What can I open? He smiled, cruel and amused. Your bedroom, nothing else. Her breath broke, so I'm a prisoner. He clicked his tongue, slow disapproving. Don't pout, little bride. Guests should be grateful they even get a room. He wanted to scream, she wanted to cry, she wanted to run, but she couldn't move. He schedules her life. He walked past toward her, still not touching her, but standing close enough that she felt the pressure of his presence. Your days will follow a schedule. Her voice came out small. What schedule? He listed it like a commander briefing a soldier. Breakfast at 8, reading at 10, language lessons at noon, firearm safety at 2, dinner at 7, lights out by 11. Her jaw dropped. You can't control my entire life. He looked genuinely curious. Why not? Because that's insane. She snapped, anger momentarily overshadowing fear. He stepped closer. Everything about me is insane. You should have realized that the moment your sister ran. A tear slid down her cheek. He watched it fall, watched it land on her dress, watched her quickly wipe it. Don't hide your tears from me. They are mine too. She stood up abruptly, trying to gather courage. You are a monster. The smile he gave her was sharp, almost proud. And you married me. I didn't choose to. He leaned closer, brushing a loose strand of hair from her face, not gently, mechanically. Choose or not, you are here and trembling. I'm not. He laughed softly, the sound chilling. Stop trembling. Monsters can smell fear, remember? She clenched her fists. You can't treat me like this forever. He whispered against her cheek, close enough that she felt his breath. Watch me. Hours passed. She lay in bed, facing the wall, trying to slow her trembling, trying to forget he was there. But she felt him. He sat at the corner of the bed, unmoving, unblinking, guarding her, not out of love but possession. Her voice finally broke under the pressure. Are you going to stay all night? Yes, watching me, obviously. Why? He shifted his voice, dipping into something darker. Because you are mine now, and I need to learn you every breath, every fear, every lie. She shivered hard enough that the sheets rustled. He smiled faintly. Good night, little bride. He didn't close his eyes. The mansion felt colder that morning, not in a temperature. Chungkook had a rule about comfort, but in atmosphere. In the silence that followed her everywhere, because now she had a shadow, a guard, assigned specifically to her. One felt the man behind her even before she heard him. Heavy boots, no footsteps rushed, everything measured. Chungkook had assigned him after breakfast. He didn't even pretend it was for protection. He stood behind her chair, hand on her shoulder, and said in a tone that made the staff raise. He will follow you everywhere, even outside your door. Once swallowed. Why? Jungkook leaned down, brushing a finger along her cheek almost tenderly, then tapping her ears. Because these, he whispered, are mine. Your tears are mine. No one else gets to witness them. She flinched. He smiled. The guard nodded stiffly from behind her, accepting the silent command. After that, wine couldn't even cry alone. If she wiped silent tears in the hallway, the guard reported it. If she whispered to herself in the bathroom, he sent Jungkook a text. Every emotion was monitored. Every move, every sigh, every tear. That afternoon, Wine tried to call her best friend, just one message, one desperate attempt at normal life, but the moment her phone lit up with her friend's name, Jungkook's message appeared on the screen first, blocked. Her breath hit. Another friend texted, "Are you okay? What happened at the wedding? Call me." And then the message vanished, deleted, erased, another followed, then disappeared. Jungkook, what are you doing? 30 seconds later, her bedroom door opened. He walked in, holding a glass of water, casual, calm, and control. Cutting ties is easier when I do it for you. You deleted them, she whispered. No, he shrugged lightly. I erased the possibility of them hurting you or distracting you or taking you away from me. That's not your choice. He stepped closer, eyes darkening. Everything about you is my choice. Her heart cracked a little at that, a dangerous thing because Chubuk noticed the pain instantly. And smiled. It happened in the quiet evening hallway while Chunguk was in a meeting with his lieutenants. One walked toward the library, one of the few rooms she still wasn't allowed to enter. When her assigned guard suddenly stepped in front of her. Too close, too tall, blocking her way completely. Her pulse jumped. "Excuse me, I need to." He didn't move. Instead, he leaned down slightly, his breath pushing her ear. "You cry a lot, Mrs. Jones." She stiffened. "Move." He didn't. His hand grabbed her wrist hard, not painfully but wrong. "He won't know if I touch you. He's in a meeting. You should talk to someone who." She didn't wait. She wrenched her hand out of his grip and ran. Her breath came out in panic burst. Her slippers slapped against the floor. Her vision blurred. She didn't know where she was going. Her legs just took her there instinctively, straight into the only place that felt like a shield, straight into him, Jungkook. Once heels clicked frantically against the marble floor, her chest burned, her breaths were ragged, shallow, desperate. And behind her, heavy footsteps followed. The assigned guard had crossed a line, his hand brushing hers in a way she couldn't ignore. Panic propelled her forward. Without thinking, she flung open the door to Jungkook's office and slammed herself inside. Immediately, the room fell silent. His lieutenants and staff rose mid-step. Jungkook, seated behind his massive magnet desk, finally looked up. His expression was cold, unreadable until his eyes landed on her. Wine, she didn't answer. She ran straight to him, throwing herself against his desk. Her hands clutched at his shoulders, her face pressed against his chest. Jungkook's gaze flicked toward the staff, then snapped back to her. Everyone out. Without a word, the room emptied, chairs scraped, doors clicked shut, and suddenly the two of them were alone. One's body shook, she couldn't even speak, only clinging to him like a frightened child. He tried to touch me. I couldn't. I ran. Her words stumbled out in broken sobs. Jung remained still, not a muscle twitched, not a shout escaped him, only his dark eyes sharpened. The storm inside him was terrifying in its calm. Finally, he leaned down, his lips barely brushing her ear, pointed at him. Trembling, Wine lifted her hand, trembling violently, and pointed toward the door. "Bring him in." The guard entered cautiously, his face pale, realizing the severity of what he had done the moment the door closed behind him. Jungkook stood walking toward the man with the predator's gaze. He stopped a few feet away from him. "You thought you could touch her?" The guard stammered, trying to explain, but Jungkook didn't allow it. He drew the gun slowly, deliberately, and pressed it to the man's temple. "I'll give you one chance to apologize properly." The man froze. I'm sorry, sir." Jungkook smiled faintly, a smile that didn't reach his eyes. You are not sorry for touching her, you are sorry you got caught. Before the guard could react, Jungkook's gun fired. The shot echoed loud, merciless, sending the man crumbling to the floor. He didn't linger on the body. Instead, he stepped toward Vine, sweeping her into his arms. Jungkook, I'm sorry. His hands held her tightly, one hand against her jaw to lift her face. His dark eyes bored into hers. You run to me when you're scared and you flinch from me when I protect you. She shook her head, trembling. Fix that wine. He didn't let go, not then, not for hours. Her sobs, her trembling hands, even the way she tried to pull away, everything fascinated him. He memorized every detail, every flinch, every whimper. From the day he became obsessed, every tear she shed was catalogued. Every frightened glance was filed in his mind, every subtle tremor in her hand made his chest tighten with possessive hunger. And Wine knew terrifyingly that she had not only survived his wrath, but also become the center of his dangerous obsession. Jungkook didn't just protect her anymore, he claimed her body, mind, and fear, and he loved every second of it. Vine had never wanted him inside her thoughts. Inside her room was already a violation. Inside her life was a nightmare. But Jungkook didn't break boundaries. He obliterated them. And tonight he crossed the one she prayed he had never discovered, the diary. Her most private sanctuary, her only safe place, her whispered fears and confessions inked between fragile pages. He sat on the chaise lounge with it open casually in his lap, as if reading the morning newspaper. One froze in the doorway. Put it down. Her voice cracked. It only made his lips curl. Jungkook looked up, eyes glinting with wicked amusement. Of all your hiding spots, you choose under the pillow. Really, little bride? You insult my intelligence. He flipped a page slowly, deliberately, then he began reading out loud. His voice was soft, mocking, almost affectionate. I feel like I'm disappearing in his mansion, like he's consuming parts of me. I don't even understand. He looked at her, smirked. You made it sound poetic. I like that. Her cheeks burned, her throat tightened painfully. Stop, please. He continued reading. Sometimes I think he hates me. Other times I think he watches me like I'm something he owns. He lifted his gaze again, but this time his eyes were darker, hotter. Not mocking, possessive. You are more observant than he thought. He closed the diary, tapping its cover with his index finger. Leaning forward, his voice dropped. I memorized everything you write about me. Wine, every fear, every heartbeat, every tear you hide. He stood, walked toward her. She stepped back instinctively. He smiled cruelly. And don't bother hiding it again. It belongs to me now. After a week, it started with an argument, a stupid one. But with Chonguk, nothing stayed small for long. Stop controlling my entire day. I'm not a prisoner. His jaw twitched. I can't breathe in this house. His voice sharpened like a blade, then learned to breathe my way. Her vision blurred, her heart raced too fast, her knees buckled. She tried saying his name. Before she collapsed, for the first time since she met him, she saw something break in his eyes. Panic. He grabbed her before she hit the floor. His voice wasn't cold anymore, it was rugged, unsteady, almost desperate. He guided her to the bed, hands hovering helplessly. Not knowing what to do, his braids were uneven. When she finally opened her eyes, his expression was unreadable. A storm trapped under a dead calm surface. Then he whispered, don't do that again. Pause. His hand hovered near her cheek, but he didn't touch. I don't like the feeling. It sounded less like worry, more like a threat against fate itself. It happened 2 days later. She was wearing a delicate bracelet, a gift from an old friend before the wedding. Jungkook noticed it instantly. His mood shifted, his voice dropped several degrees. Where did you get that? She swallowed. A friend gave it to me before crack. He snatched her wrist and tore the bracelet off. Jewels scattered across the floor. She gasped. Jungkook, that was important to me. He stepped closer, eyes burning with icy jealousy. Another man touched your skin before I did. She shook her head quickly. It wasn't like that. He didn't listen. He dropped a velvet bag at her feet, then another, and another, until dozens were scattered around her. 50 replacements. His words were low, sharp, dangerous, were mine instead.